exceptionally diverse international lineup. The combination of county teams with international entrants and pro teams makes for a great mix. This year's Rás is no exception, with teams from America, Kazakhstan, Sweden, and of course Team Ireland. There's Tommy Evans, who won in 1996. The race organiser once again is Dermot Dignam. Dermot Dignam, this year the FBD Milkrás is based more or less in the northern half of the country.
Yes, we have 3 stages in Donegal, which will take in probably 2 of the toughest climbs in the whole of the country, and Memore, Gap and Glengash Pass.
That's the big one. That's the one that people will really see some suffering.
They will indeed, and it could be this decisive climb in the whole race.
So the men of the Rás, they're ready and raring to go. It's going to be an exciting week.
It certainly will be, and there's some great racing in the prospect.
The ceremonial start is traditionally O'Connell Street in Dublin, and as they head down the quays of our capital city, ahead of them is over 1,200 kilometres of open road. Today, though, they head to Roscrea, which is all of 135 kilometres away. This is the one and only climb of the day. It's the cut in the scenic Schlievebloem Mountains, but this is the first opportunity for King of the Mountain points. And winning there in the red helmet, Maxim Iglinshkiv of Kazakhstan. The bunt sprint won by David Harrigan, one of the pro riders in this year's event, representing Team Down Under, and in third came Thomas Lobskvist of Team Bianchi Sweden. There you see Tommy Evans, a winner back in 1996, battling it out with Ari Højgaard of Denmark. The Dane was away on his own for a long time on the stage, but he was caught by Evans and Paul Manning, also a former winner. Manning dropped back, and it's between Evans and Højgaard. The Irishman hasn't won a stage of the Rás since 2000, but he knows what to do, and it's stage victory number 5 for the Team Ireland cyclist. There's Tommy Evans donning the yellow jersey after stage 1. Now let's recap the first 5 finishers in today's opening stage. And this is how it looks in overall classification. On to stage 2, and already a breakaway coming into Portumna. A hard slog ahead, no sprint preems or King of the Mountain points on offer here. Instead, it's 188 kilometres from the start in Roscrea to the finish at the Station House Hotel in Clifton. The 4-man breakaway group then includes Rory Wiley of the London Irish team, regular contender Mark Lovett, Steve Cummings and Rob Enslin, who rides for the Cambridge Team Data Phonics outfit, who are managed this year, by the way, by the new Chief Executive of Cycling Ireland, Stuart Hallam. This group were caught by the main bunch at Craughwell as they made their way to Galway City, and here they are on the outskirts of the capital of the West. At Terryland, there you see John Tanner on the left, Simon Kelly of Mayo Galway Bay, and there Sweden's Tobias Lergaard and Lars Verenberg of Denmark. Leaving the City of Tribes, the weather not great, but it got worse. A 12-man breakaway group, including the defending champion Kieran Power, eventually became 29 strong as they sprinted for the finish in Clifton.
They're still across the road.
Jonas Holmqvist from Tommy Prim's Swedish team won the overall stage from Kazakhstan's Asan Basayev.
As I said, it's one of the Swedish going to be picked with. It's very, very, very close. And yes, indeed, it is the young Swedish guy.
Tommy Evans, though, remains in the yellow jersey. But what a day. Appalling conditions, and for many of the riders, one that they'll never forget. So really a brutal day to contend with. Let's have a look at how they finished on the stage. And this is how they're looking in the overall general classification. Stage 3 in the FBD Milkrás moves today en masse from Clifton to Ballina in County Mayo. There's Kevin Dawson, Timmy Barry and Eugene Moriarty involved in an early break, and very scenic countryside, although the weather not great again today either. They're going through Leenane now, which was the setting for the movie of John B. Keane's The Field. No time to look at that though. 145 kilometres to cover on the roads of Connemara, and it's going to be very tough. And there's a shot of Ian McLeod, one of the pro riders from South Africa, getting some team tactics from his manager Martin Sanders. Mark Lovett has contributed to many Rosses in the past, and there he is representing Lancaster Team Life Repair Group, going solo into Newport, so obviously anxious to record a stage win this year. His teammate Kevin Dawson in pursuit along with Steve Cummings, Timmy Barry of Team Dan Morrissey in there, and Jonas Lundbald of Sweden. It's never easy on these roads to go it alone, but he's a hardy character, Mark Lovett, and a stage victory would mean so much. At this stage he's about a minute and a half ahead of the chasing group, but it's even harder now that he's riding into a crosswind. The weather a lot drier as well, and it's good to see defending champion Kieran Power there on the left, battling it out in the closing stages. Lovett though continues alone, but his lead is now down to 18 seconds as they head towards Ballina. And it's going to be bitterly disappointing news for Lovett as he's swallowed up by the bunch. His 7th Ross, and he was sure that today was his day for a stage victory. But no, it's a first stage victory for Kieran Power. Twice a champion of the Ross, a great day for the Irishman, and indeed another great result for Team Ireland.
Today was another hard stage. The wind and the weather's been atrocious for us now. It's been a long time since it's been as bad as this, but it's nice to hold the jersey for 3 days. I don't know how much longer I can do it, but the team rode perfect today.
Once again, let's have a look at the stage placings, and you'll see no place for Mark Lovett. He finished in the end down in 23rd. Here's the general classification after stage 3. Now for a look at the jersey standings after stage 3. Another long, hard day ahead for stage 4. Ballina to Letterkenny, all of 173 kilometres. So after his first stage victory, is Kieran Power a happy man?
It's fantastic. After 5 years of trying now, it's absolutely unbelievable feeling, especially the lads that rode so hard yesterday. It's good to pay them off for getting a stage run. Yeah, I think it's been hard. Like 2 days ago, it was one of the worst days ever on a bike for me, and I'm sure for a lot of the other riders, so it makes it hard for everybody, but at the end of the day, it's the same for everybody.
English rider Malcolm Elliott is back out of retirement. How's he finding the week?
Well, I've been not altogether easy, I've got to say. It's been the bad weather and the winds, and also, I've not been in the best of health since the race started, so I'm just hoping to try and be able to ride it out. And I came here primarily for some training, really, to get a good stage race in, of which this is the first one I've ridden for many years, and to sort of just increase my fitness. And I'm pretty happy though with getting 3rd yesterday.
Great to see Malcolm Elliott taking part in the FBD Millcross this year. Of course, many great memories of Malcolm competing in those Nissan Classics of the late 80s and early 90s. But back out onto the road, and quite a slog ahead of them from Ballina to Letterkenny, all of 173 kilometres as they head into Ballyshannon. Lawrence Roach leading on the road from Kildare North. Of course, Lawrence competed in the Tour de France with his brother Stephen, and behind him Ray Clark of Meath, Lee Strand. So let's go on to a Category 3 climb now. This is Barnesmore Gap. And leading here and winning the King of the Mountains section of the stage, Andrei Medyanikov of Kazakhstan, followed by Kevin Dawson of Team Lancaster in 2nd, and Brian Ahern of Kildare Hirequip in 3rd. Later into the stage, this group had built up a lead of 2 minutes and 47 seconds. The weather, of course, not helping again and making it very difficult for all the riders. But great success for Kevin Dawson, winning the stage and making up for his teammate Mark Lovett's misfortune yesterday. And Dawson really in a good vein of form as well, having recently won Ross Moon, so he likes the Irish air, obviously. There's Eugene Moriarty finishing 4th on the stage, and the leading county rider once again. But quite a bit of mayhem as regards the remainder of the bunch, encountering an awful lot of difficulty with the slippery conditions. But there's nothing new in that, certainly given the weather conditions for the men of the Ross.
And the leader of the FBD Ras, Tommy Evans. These are the men of the Ross.
Let's hear now from the Swedish manager Tommy Prim.
Oh, it's a lovely race, and the roads are very beautiful, and we're looking forward to come up in the mountains. And the weather, you can't do anything about it, but we are very pleased to be here. Yeah, all the 5 riders are very good in form, and we are trying to do our best and maybe win the race.
Let's get a word from the race sponsor.
It's gone very well. I mean, there's 2 main features of it, I suppose, at this stage. One is the weather, which has been terrible. I believe it's the worst weather ever on the Rás that people can remember. But the other side of it, and more important side, is the competitiveness of it. We have 4 professional teams here this year, and the competition has been fierce and tremendous to watch as well. And at this point, we have Tommy Evans in the lead. He's looking strong, but they're up into the mountains in Donegal today. And I think today we're going to see some changes. I think we'll possibly see Kieran Power coming through, or maybe some of the stronger Swedes.
Well said, Adrian. That's Adrian Tahany, the Group Development Manager of FBD Insurance, who along with the National Dairy Council are fantastic supporters of Ireland's premier road race. The riders, as you can see now, are heading out around the Inishowen Peninsula today as they go through the town of Malin for the first time today. There are 3 Category 3 climbs and 2 Category 1s, including this one, Bala Hill, where the 2 Kazakhstan riders showcase their ability once more. Iglinskiv and Medyanikov leaving the rest behind. The Kazakh riders have really dominated the climbs this week, and this stage is perfectly suited for them. Coming down off the climb through Malin, they head on to Carndunna. The breakaway group currently lead the bunch by over 3 minutes, and Tommy Evans is in there. Jonas Olsson of Sweden there in the white jersey in the slipstream of his teammate Jonas Lundblad. The Kazakh riders are pushing out a strong pace, and there's even a bit of sunshine to make it easier. Plenty of support from all the schools in Carndunna, great to see, as the men of the Rás speed through. The Memore Gap is a severe test, a real Category 1 climb, and one to burn the legs and squeeze the lungs. There's Ray Clark of Meath Lee Strand Cycleways. They're managed, of course, by former winner Brian Connaughton, who was successful all of 34 years ago. You won't mind me saying that, will you, Brian? These climbs will have a huge bearing on the overall standings. There's former international Timmy Barry getting some assistance, which is against the rules, Timmy, and he's sure to be reprimanded and fined at the stage end. Into Buncrana, though, it's the danger man Chris Newton who beats the 2 Kazakh riders for the stage victory, and that should have a significant bearing on the overall standings. And another good day for Eugene Moriarty, but a bad one for Team Ireland, with Tommy Evans losing his lead, Kieran Power not threatening, and David O'Loughlin blowing up in the last 17 miles.
The young man from Great Britain, who is now the leader of the FBD Milk here in Buncrana tonight, after one of the toughest stages of the race. Come on, Donegal, let's rise this young man, the leader of the FBD Milk.
So here are the stage placings after stage 5. Timmy Barry was placed last on stage 5 for that infringement that we highlighted, and was fined 200 Swiss francs. After the hammering yesterday in the mountains, today is more of the same, which should please new race leader Chris Newton. How is he feeling?
Pretty good. It was kind of planned to do this way. The Irish rode quite a lot for the first 5 stages, and yesterday was, I think, one of the big days, and we did quite well. Obviously got the stage win in the jersey, so looking forward to today, really.
Today, reputedly, it's the steepest climb in Ireland. Does that scare you at all?
I thought that was yesterday. But no, not really. It's the same for everyone. So you just got to race it and see how it comes out the other side.
And did the team hope to hold on to yellow till the finish?
Yeah, that's what we plan to do. Whether it's myself or Paul, who's just a bit further behind, that's kind of what we plan to do. Have 2 riders up there so we can use one another to keep the yellow jersey within the team.
It's turning into an unforgettable Rás. For many of the riders, the elements are having a negative effect on morale. Certainly having to negotiate the wind and rain has been very hard, but combined with the climbs of these 2 stages, the men of the Rás are really finding it tough. The 6th stage is circuitous from Buncrana down through Letterkenny and back across to Donegal town. Yes, there's plenty of scenery, but there are 4 climbs and a few hairpins to negotiate. Oh, and I should mention 167 kilometres of County Donegal. Having lost the lead to Chris Newton, Tommy Evans finds himself trailing by over 5 minutes now. He'll be determined to do something about that, but his work is cut out. The riders left Ardara on their way to Glengesh, which is a fearsome Category 1 climb. Eugene Moriarty has of course raced in the past for Ireland, and any opportunity to show his class has been grasped for all it's worth. He's won top county rider for the last 3 days. Maybe this will be his fourth. Chris Newton's lead with 3 days left is only 5 seconds, but the British team are an impressive side managed by the great John Herity, so defending Newton's lead will be strategically done. Team Bianchi Sweden are a really impressive outfit. They're a young team, as you heard from Tommy Prim, and he has such a wealth of experience. It's no surprise that they lead the international team category. They have one stage victory, and Prim is eyeing another, and possibly the overall victory as well. That's what they came here to do. Well, the cyclists weren't the only ones having a tough time on some of these mountain stages. Some of our motorcycling friends got a little bit carried away. There's no David O'Loughlin, as I mentioned, so Frank Campbell finds his Team Ireland outfit now 2 men short. Over 150 riders started out last Sunday at the West County Hotel. They now number 114. Such is the nature of the sport. So in the end, Tommy Evans loses out to Jonas Holmqvist. Evans' shoe clip came undone. He lost his momentum and the crafty Swede took his second stage win. His teammate Thomas Lövqvist was third and Mark Lovett was fourth. Kieran Power, he won the bunch sprint to finish sixth and is starting to show some good form.
Leader after the end of stage 6 of the FBD Ras, the young man, world champion from Great Britain, one of the nice guys of international cycling, Chris Newton.
After 6 stages of the FBD Milkros for 2003, these are the jersey standings. It's stage 7 and the riders are leaving Donegal town now, and according to Frank Campbell, the Team Ireland manager, the tactics are to go from the gun on stage 7. They're heading to Oldcastle in County Meath. It's a trip of 180 kilometres. There are 2 climbs on this stage, a Category 3 and a Category 2. Under orders from his management, Kieran Power belts away 100 miles from home. This group includes Patrick Kohler of Germany, Jaron Pode of Team Australia and Yanto Barker of Wales. There are quite a few fast roads on this trip southeastwards. Kieran Power claimed his second stage of this year's FBD Milkros after attacking outside Oldcastle to finish comfortably by 16 seconds ahead of the German in second with the Australian third. It means that the Englishman Chris Newton's 5-second lead is now intact going into the final stage.
Now then, this is a very unique occasion because not alone is the daddy here, but his little son, Keegan. Well done. So now, ladies and gentlemen, one stage to go. This young man from Great Britain is the leader of the FBD Ras. He's the
Welcome to the 8th and final stage of the FBD Ras for 2003. There's even a little bit of sunshine today. Now will Englishman Chris Newton hold on to his slender lead? It's only 5 seconds. Anything could happen around the Phoenix Park this afternoon. The manager of Team Great Britain, John Hurrity, was on RTE radio this afternoon, and he said that today's conclusion of the FBD Ras would be a mere cycle in the park. So obviously they're confident of overall victory for Chris Newton, who was second last year and has that 5-second lead today. This is a real grandstand finish. They race for an hour around a designated circuit of the Phoenix Park and conclude with 3 additional laps. The Kazakh riders dominated all of the prems. The Swedes, they're obviously going for an overall victory as well, but it's the British side who will control this race for all they're worth and make sure that Newton can emulate his teammate Paul Manning, who broke through for Britain in this event in 2001. In the end, overall victory did indeed go to the Englishmen, so the stage placings, well, it was won by Adam Hodges-Myerson of the United States. Malcolm Elliott finished in second place, with Kieran Power getting third place on the stage.
This year's FBD Ras, I think, has been notable for 2 facets. 1, the appalling weather, and 2, despite that, the wonderful racing that we've had. It's been cut and thrust all the way, and we've been delighted with it.
This is how the final results looked.
big round of applause.
Meath Lee Strand Cycleways won the County Team Award for the 2nd year in a row. Team Bianchi Sweden claimed the overall international team prize. They also got the green jersey for points and the white jersey for best under-23 rider. And the overall winner, Chris Newton. Chris, after finishing second last year, you were obviously one of the hot favourites and one of the danger men this year. You assumed the lead after Buncrana and you held on to it. That must have been difficult.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was only a 5-second lead. And coming into the stage finish, I didn't know whether to kind of feign the sprint at the end and let the Swede take it, so he had the responsibility of defending the lead. But I think I chose wise and sprinted and got that 5-second gap. So it was difficult to defend, but the guys pulled through and it was a great ride by them and the team. So